Welcome to Torpid Casts. Today we're going to be watching Claire, piano, playing as the Inquisitor here, going up against Cry, who is currently bullying his heretics with his Cogs of Vashtor, Chaos Lord. Obviously looking like a Mechanicus Tech Priest. Dark Mech. So, yeah, Inquisitor, very powerful at the moment. I call her a troll hero. She's very annoying. I'm not casting that much IG because the faction needs to be reworked, and it will get reworked, hopefully. So, it's frustrating. Sentinel is a problem, as the Chaos Lord is now feeling. Unfortunately, not positioned in such a way that his combi bolt is going to shoot, so he's not even going to get some chip damage on the Sentinel. And only seeing one guardsman here, of course, it doesn't get the Sergeant for as long as possible to minimise the amount of upkeep that you spend. This is a bit weird. He's trying to put the Chaos Lord in cover. That used to work, but there was a patch, and it changed it, so it no longer does. It doesn't get the benefit from cover. So I'm not entirely sure what the point of that was. You're better off going into melee, because then you at least get the range damage resistance, and the Sentinel also doesn't have 100% fire on the move, so it does less damage when it's kiting you. But yes, we see double gens instantly, and go for the contested over here. It's going to be rushing Kadishan Devils, as always, the ubiquitous Kadishan Devils. And this is all part of the problem. They're just free, you know? And you can't get any bleed on the Sentinel. You can't really kill the Sentinel until tier 2 if the player isn't an idiot and he plays it correct. So the Inquisitor here, of course, going to go over and deal with the CSM. Guardsmen will have to flee from the heretics, but the Sentinel can counter the heretics. The heretics will never catch it. So they're just going to zone the guardsmen at the cost of their own lives. And it's all just a big delaying tactic. Gotta be careful with his heretics here. There's Hammer of Witches in retreat. Oh, he's going for the CSM. I would have poked that heretic. Maybe you would have hit the right one that was low on HP. Only 120 between them both. The other one could have had high HP, and then that's it. Bang. Hammer of the Witches wiped the squad, but didn't go for it. This is crazy. Fast Raptors? What? That's odd. You have to assume you'd be facing Kadishans first, so... yeah, weird. Raptors, of course, countered by Kadishans, because Kadishans do power melee. And they've got Shotgun Blast and decent range damage. Wow. Both the heroes here getting their tanky bubbles. Their bubble shields. CL trying to bleed the Guardsmen, but really the Guardsmen... you're not using them for combat right now. Their combat prowess is terrible with so few models and lasguns. You're just using them to repair and cap, and guess what? 4 guardsmen repairs and caps at the same speed that 6 of them do, and you're starting to see some of the problems here. Now the problem with Kadishans is he's going for another one, and Kadishans do everything, right? They are your detector for IG, and this is part of the problem, by the way. You have to make Kadishans kind of a unit that's good in all circumstances, because otherwise you screw the race, because then you've made them have to get this really niche unit in order to detect. So they plant IEDs, which forces the enemy to need detection. To be fair, I like IEDs. If they weren't on Kadishans, or if they had to pay for them. Obviously they've got power melee, so you can see they can handle Raptors in melee, which is both unimmersive and quite awkward in terms of balance. They also have the Old Reliable, which simultaneously deals very good damage to large amounts of models. So let's say you're fighting Termagants from the Tyranids, and they've got triple Termagants to try and actually DPS down your Sentinel. And this is the problem for Tyranids. They can't deal with the Sentinel well, because Tyranids have things like Barb Strangler, which is AoE, bad against a single entity, or Melee, which can't catch the Sentinel. So you go triple Termagants, and then you have 24 Termagants, so Old Reliable's AoE damage is brutal, and they can chain Old Reliable twice with double Kadishans. It's really painful. Going for the Hammer of the Witches, I think we want to turn off the Rosarius there. Needs to spend a bit of time regaining the energy. And then what do you want to do? Go into melee with them? Well, they have explosive shot, and this is part of the problem there is they can close in at close range to ranged units and use explosive shot, knock them over, suppress them, and then they can beat a lot of ranged units as well. So mainline ranged troops are meant to be the counter to Kadashan, but often, in reality, that's just not how it works.
Upgrade order received. Proceeding. Sir, power node is ready.
So this is part of the problem. Now, also going Raptors against the Inquisitor seems pretty crazy. She can get the Brazier in Tier 1 for the 50 DPS power melee weapon, which can be quite effective. I think Raptors will win that fight there, yeah. Kadashan's not full health, but more importantly, really, in Tier 2 she can get the Assail War Gear, which prevents even a jump squad from being able to jump, which is kind of mental. Guardsmen have picked up their Sergeant now, so a little bit more durability on them with the extra models. The Sergeant himself has 140 HP rather than the 100 of the actual Guardsman as well. And he is die last. Okay, we see Grenade Launcher Heretics, that's fair enough. With the AC too, you kind of need the Aspirant Champion on the Heretics, otherwise the Old Reliable's just too brutal. But you want the AC anyway to detect IEDs. This is the other thing with Kadashans. They've got a lot of die last models, so they get out with 40% HP and no models lost, which is kind of insane. The downside is they have to spend a lot of time at base healing, so they come out without full HP. But generally it's superior, you know, they're not bleeding models. Cry, of course, has invested... well, I was going to say he's invested more. It's funny, he has actually invested more than Piano has here. Oh, we're going to lose the Kadashan. Raptors will be able to jump after this. Oh, they just got their Sarge. Their Tier 2 Sarge, that's going to save them. So even though Cry has fewer units, he is actually quite a lot more invested. You've got the double investment here. You've got 45 power on these, 50 on these, 60, 40, 100. And then 130, 155. I think that's 25, or is it 30? 155, I think. Power spent on 4 units. That's kind of mental, actually. These are 35 each, so that's 70. No Stomp. And then the Rosarius, which, I don't know, is it 20 or is it 25? Either way, that's 90 or 95. So, quite a bit less power expenditure there for Piano. And that's why, of course, the Chimera is now out. Yeah, Cry's build is a bit peculiar. The key problem, which I'm sure he's now realising, is he has no transitional AV. So he hasn't got a... well, he has the Chaos Raptors, which is something. They can get heavy melee on their Aspirant Champion, which will be good with the snare of the Plague Marines. And the Plague Marines will be able to get the speed boost from Khorne Worship, because Chaos Lord Worship is by far the strongest worship, and just so powerful. So that's good. If it was the Plague Champion, I think Cry would be quite screwed right now. You can see Combi Bolt with Chaos Lord, pretty damn effective as a ranged hero. It's funny, both of these heroes actually equally effective in melee or ranged with these weapons. But Inferno Pistol's got a lot of utility. Because it's melter damage, it will ignore cover. It does full damage basically to everything, even vehicles. And it's got that beautiful ability, Judgment, which combined with the Liber Heresius will allow her to actually use the Judge ability, which can do crazy damage to individual units. I mean, you're talking about basically wiping heretics outright if the AC took a bit of chip. But you can snipe down these squads as well. You're not going to wipe them, but you can definitely take out squad leaders if you've got a bit of chip in there. Kadashan's very low on HP for some reason when coming out. maybe Claire thought they were a bit further ahead in tech than they were. It's an interesting one. The melee here is actually quite effective at zoning out the Chimera, but there's not really that much synergy with the Chimera. I'm a bit unsure why the Judgment went on the Plague Marines as well. It's not really an ideal target. When you finally judge the target after the timer for Judgment has finalised, you do AoE damage, but there's only 3 models on the Plague Marine squad. And the Judge model was the one that got killed. Brilliant. I don't know what these Cadishans are doing. These ones are running over to the gen farm. That's a bit strange. Cry? Lost 2 plagues there. It's a fair bit of bleed. Lucky special. Wow. Level 2 Inquisitor. Yeah, chop off a couple of Cadishans and then get out of there, I think. No ground pound, but Ogryns are en route. Ooh, can they kill the Sentinel? No, they don't want to risk it. They actually probably would have been fine because the Ogryns didn't have the Bonehead nearby, but Cry didn't know that. If the Bonehead comes in, you can use your head, knock them over, and then get a load of damage on them with the Inquisitor and the Ogryns in melee. So it was a good retreat. Very unlucky. Lost his AC right there as the first unit that was lost, which is not ideal. An IED gets planted down, and the heretics are down this side of the map, so it's possible Raptors or KCSM will come down and walk into that IED. We'll see. Inquisitor missing her shots there with her Inferno pistol, but she's just forcing melee. The Aspirant Champion's okay in melee, but the rest of them, when they've got their auto guns and grenade launchers, are not very good. They're only cultists at the end of the day. It's funny, this game. Cry constantly running around with very few squads compared to Piano. Piano not fully reinforcing the Cadishans though. So you still get the abilities, you get the explosive shot and you get the old reliable, but you don't get a lot of range damage, which seems a little odd. Wow, that IED did not do a lot of damage to these guys. Holy shit. Huh. Yeah, just gonna retreat. Still not investing in the ground pound. Not fully reinforcing Guardsmen either. Might lose the Raptors here. Sorry, might lose the Sentinel to the Raptors. Oh, that big Demon Maw couldn't quite get a swing in, but there is a sail. And the Raptors are thoroughly shut down with Ogryns in retreat path. That is quite painful. Quite painful. Good barrage though from the Heretics there to disrupt the Ogryns. Still took out the Aspirant Champion. Yikes. Yeah. Fortunately, a Chimera doesn't have quite the damage that a Razorback has on a single target. It's not when it's got no troops inside. That was a bit of a strange Hell Fury strike. Completely missed the Heretics. Not ideal. Yeah, Plague Marine's trying to evade the Ogryns here with the Corn Worship. Corn Marine's gonna rotate to try and force off these Ogryns. Ogryns retreat because it's not really a fight they need to commit to be honest. They don't want to bleed. But overall, it's looking quite good here. We've got Judgment on the Corn Marines. If they continue to stay in play here, they will get judged by the Inquisitor. I think it's 50 energy to actually perform that Judgment. Yeah, she can't get it. They're at the other side. That was a good bait. I think he was clicking it there, and she was running forward to do it, but would have ran into the Raptors and got herself diced up good and proper. Really pushing it there with the Chaos Lord, but of course... Oh, I was going to say, he has the shield. No, he doesn't anymore. He's only got the Visage. Wow, that was ballsy. Yeah, just backing out of here right now. Oh, this could be bad. Plague Marine's hit. Snare goes in. So Cadishans get out. They yeet their grenade launcher over with the old reliable. There you go, but hey, look at that. Aspirant Champion got the job done with the Demon Hammer. Killed the Chimera. I mean, it's a classic combo. You use the Plague Marines to snare, and then the heavy melee can actually get work done on a transport, because they, unlike other units, do not have melee resist. Unlike walkers. Speaking of walkers, 20% melee resist on this bad boy, so he'll be a little bit resilient to the Ogrins, but not fully resilient. 40% is normal. Of course, we've got the anti-armor kit coming up now. Yeah, I guess Cry did not see that, the call in for Stormtroopers. So Plague Marines forcing melee onto the Stormtroopers. They're not pursuing. They're trying to. Because they're near to the Plague Marines, they're having their speed slowed, unfortunately for them. So they're not going to catch up, but Ogrins are doing a pretty good job catching up to these ticks. Can they get a final swing? Wow. Kill it with the Ripper Guns. You can see a demonic summoning here. Oh, I forgot as well. Yeah, this is the other thing with IG. They've got so much transferable AV. You can go Missile Launcher Sentinel. Then you have frags that are good against infantry, and you have crack grenades that are good against dreadnoughts. Melter, good against all. Melter, good against all. Oh, another model goes down. Another aspiring champion kill. Yikes. I mean, at least the Raptors shut this kind of ranged melter play down. But again, look at the map control. Very dominant here from Piano. No red, mind you. Probably time to go tier 3, I think, and save up for a Lehman. I think they've got sufficient AV, really. There was no Heretic to repair this Dreadnought, so that was kind of a big fuck-up that he didn't manage to get actually in a position where the Melter Stormtroopers would be able to shoot that Dreadnought. Because it's not even about killing it at this point, it's about putting the chip damage on it. There would have been no repairs. And then it's time that the Heretics could spend capping, they're instead having to spend repairing. Which is always nice for you, if you're the enemy of that Heretic. Bit of a swing and a miss there from the ID. I think it did a little bit of chip damage, but not a proper amount. Going for Let the Galaxy Burn and retreats. Yeah, Cry going for this Demonic Visage, but it's not really that effective because you've got to get into melee. Really, it feels like you'd be much better off sticking with the Dark Halo. Because yeah, 25% reduced damage from the entire enemy army is huge. Oh my god. Oh wow, they just got annihilated by a Judgment. Yep. Fun. Just nuke that squad. And that does full damage in retreat as well. It's a very, very annoying ability, to say the least. You can judge a vehicle and it will do chip damage. Even the actual Judgment itself, not the Judge. But just that Judgment being on the model does a little bit of damage over time. And the problem, of course, with the Dreadnought is there's once again no repairs, because the Heretics just got annihilated by Judge. So any chip damage that you can inflict will be quite impactful. Cry is going to have to try and win this on VPs. The Chaos Lord will certainly help, but 204 VPs for Piano, I think that should be sufficient. Classic 1-2 will seal the deal now. Kassakin plus Lehman. Go for the Lehman first, because you've got to deal with this Dreadnought. There's a decent Let the Galaxy Burn. Yeah, I mean, Visage doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Against the Inquisitor, who can hammer the witches, your Chaos Lord, stop it moving, could assail it. Like, how are you getting your Chaos Lord into melee? I don't really follow. Ogrins with a heavy melee here, going to be quite fearsome. Cause the Chaos Dreadnought to disengage. Inquisitor probably wants to force melee on the Dreadnought there, a little bit slow to react. But that's okay. You see, this is part of what's awful about the current meta. We've just got this 5-model Guardsman squad running around capping and repairing. Basically, there's no Guardsman being used. There's no ranged fire lines being used. So it's not really IG, is it? It's not in any way immersive. And it looks like the Inquisitor here and the Ogrins are going to take down this Sea Dread. I mean, they're good at doing it. And this is the thing, like I say, they're trying to path block with the Dreadnought there, and successfully does so. Brilliant. Nice abuse there.
Sir, power node is ready.
Well, I suppose it's justified when you're fighting an IG. But yeah, just to reiterate once again, your AV here, all of it, sergeants on the Cadishans, this is all AV, and it's all good against infantry as well. So where is the decision making to be done? I could let the galaxy burn, but once again, massive overcommitment there from the Chaos Lord. And unfortunately this Chaos Dreadnought now is going to be getting repaired for a very long time. It's a bit of a fuck up. Yeah. Just knocked his enemies out of Hell Fury. But not too long until the Lehman Russ. And once again, the VP pressure is on. Cry losing their little VP lead that they've got. I feel like I've not seen anything for the Plague Marines for a while, but I guess there's not really much for them to do. I'll try and hunt the Sentinel, but Sentinel's only heavy infantry armor, which is a very weak armor type, and to balance that, it has more HP. So even though the missiles will accurately hit it, they're not great, because missiles don't do a lot of damage, they just kill vehicles instantly. That was a bit of a questionable engagement there from the Ogrins. Yeah, going in with way too little HP against Corn Marines who do power melee, which is bonus damage against the super heavy infantry Ogrins. Could be a wipe. Definitely a wipe. Fucking hell, even the Raptors are jumping in. Wow, it's like... yeah, it might have been needed, I'm not sure. A lot of damage coming out of the Dreadnought there, but hey ho, that's less upkeep, and now a Lehman Russ is on the way. The problem right now that Cry has is that he's very limited in his repair support. But, you know, 2 Chaos Dreadnoughts and Plague Marines, and Raptors with a Bloodlust Global to increase the damage of everyone. Might just be your infantry. There's some hope here to kill the Lehman. Oh, I just seen that as well. Ogrins got out with 1 model, and then they just went up Bullgrins, so they didn't have to repair the lost models. Oh, so annoying. And Bullgrins are frustrating. It's actually a pretty good choice right now, even if it wasn't for saving the reinforcement cost. Bullgrins passively take 25% less damage from range attacks, and the autocannons from these Chaos Dreadnoughts are going to be one of the best ways to deal with those Bullgrins right now. So they're going to be very resilient indeed. We've also got a Vanquisher Cannon Lehman, no surprise there. Essentially doubles the rate of fire of the cannon, and increases the range of it at the cost of losing splash damage, but who cares about splash? You're not killing heretics with your Lehman, you're killing Dreadnoughts, and really, you're killing Marines as well, which, you know, you need more mainline cannon hits, not the actual splash. A bit of a micro fuck up going on right now. There is a Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnought, but it's getting focused down by the Inquisitor. Oh dear. Yep, Bloodlust goes in. But Plague Marines are not attacking. They're not in range. It's a problem. Guardsmen need to retreat. They're going to get wiped by the Dreadnought. All the Plague Bolters. Okay, well, you know. Yep, Plague Marines are present. They're going to dissuade the Lehman from engaging. Sentinel finally falls. To be honest, I'm not sure what the Sentinel were doing for all this time. Doesn't feel like it were doing too much. Probably more of a micro burden than anything else. And another kind of unnecessary Hell Fury. I really wish that he'd stop doing that. So he goes to the Mark of Tzeentch, gets the missile pods instead of the autocannon. A lot better AV DPS, but he sacrificed the anti-infantry potential. Problem for the Dreadnought, of course, is inferior range to a Vanquisher Lehman. And yeah, these unit losses only really free up a lot of upkeep for Piano. Wow, that was a fair bit of AoE there. Stormtroopers just used to gain line of sight right now. Oh, goes to the Melter Bomb, wow. I would not have opened fire. Yeah, I mean, it's more chip, isn't it? This is the problem. Heretics need to get repairing. What is the Chaos Lord even going to do? Did pick up the Lightning Claws. Cry is obsessed with these, I swear. I always see him with these Lightning Claws, but I don't think it's... I don't know, man. It's a very expensive piece of kit. I don't think the intention of the Bulgrins is to take melee fights nearby to the Chaos Lord, so I'm not sure how needed or effective these Lightning Claws actually are. Let's see. They're good to tear up Bulgrins. Using an electric discharge here from their shields, suppressing the nearby Marines. Fucking hell, Guardsman running around with 2 models right now. It's quite desperate. And Stormtroopers just going to cap on the sides, but yeah, Corn Marines. Chaos Lord doing a lot of damage to the Bulgrins, but yeah, Lehman just snipes the Dreadnought. I mean, you don't have the range on the Dreadnought, it's really hard. This thing's like 55 range or something. It's really tough to take that on with a Dreadnought. What is the missile Dreadnought? Is it 38, 44? Something like that? It's certainly not 55. So yeah, he's going to have to get the... Wow, it's a weird Stormtrooper drop. I would have just saved it for Kassakin, but I guess he wants the pressure on the field right now, not waiting for anything. Yeah, and they've got that nice piercing DPS to deal with the Plague Marines. Just going all in right now, this is crazy. He's going to lose the Plague Marine. Yeah, it's GG. Gonna get a Las Havoc, yeah. Holy shit, he won on VPs! Why did I think these were inverted? Oh my god. I thought these were inverted. I thought that was fucking Piano's VPs. That's Cry's. That's why he was going all in. That's also why Piano called down the Stormtroopers in sheer desperation. And that's why he disengaged from fighting the Plague Marines. Wow. I don't know how I completely missed that. This was a weird game. I don't even know how to start analysing this. I really feel like Stormtroopers could have been backcapping quite a bit more than they were. Just a weird game. But if we just think about how that all played out, right? Did it feel like IG, the Imperial Guard, the Astra Militarum, were participating in a battle there? Because it didn't to me. You know, you think Astra Militarum, you think shitloads of infantry, lots of vehicles, core vehicles, playing relevant roles throughout the combat in large-scale fighting. Not constant hit and runs, and guardsmen that only run around placing flags down and repairing vehicles. The guardsmen are meant to hold the front lines. These guys running around not even with full models because he's just using them as weird hit and run units to knock enemies away and to do AoE damage, and then the Inquisitor trolling with her control abilities. I mean, yeah, it's miserable. It really is miserable. It's miserable to fight it. It's really unfun. And quite frankly, it's dull to play as well. But there you go. We'll definitely have more discussions about the IG rework coming up, and I shall say no more because I will leave it until then. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed that one, and you were probably freaking out as you realised that the VPs were about to end, and I had no idea. So there you go. That's going to be all for you, boy Torpid, this time. I am signing out.